Bear with me 1 second. Rawr, that's the sound of a bear. I'm just going to click the toilet real quick, and then we'll start. Right. Let's wind the audio down slightly. Not too loud. Let's make my face happen. Hi, I'm BoredGamer. Hope you're doing all right. Hello, hello. If you would like to ask a question during the live stream, just say question in brackets and then ask a question, or if it's a topic change or whatever. Just sort of ask whatever. I'll talk about Alpha 4.3.2, a bit of CitizenCon, potential for the Paladin, which is pretty high, and pretty much anything else people want to talk about. We can talk about the latest patch that's actually been released live, 4.3.1. We can talk about the ASD facilities. We talk about anything. Yeah, Chris is right behind me. Right behind me. I have so I'm not feeling the best today. So last night, I'm a bit of an arachnophobe. Okay, I'm not terrible. I'm pretty bad though. Okay, my cousin, he won't be in the house knowing that there's a spider there. However, I just assume there are spiders everywhere, and if I see one, I have to get out of the room. Okay, let's get someone deal with it. I had a little vacuum, which I can get a spider with, and then I can release it into the wild when I feel brave enough, or get someone else to do it. And sort of, bam, all. I don't have anything against the spiders. I'm terrified of them, and they have to be dealt with, otherwise I can't sleep. So last night, one just ran in across my floor, pretty big one, like, wow, that's me not sleeping. I had to find it. I'm not sure if I did find it. And when I tried to release it, there was nothing there. There was nothing there. I was like, it might have hidden itself on my green screen, which you can't see because it's a green screen. It's invisible. So I didn't sleep very well because of that. And that was literally as I was just drifting off. That happened. And on the weekend just gone, I burnt myself on my hand. Now, at the time, it was just a splash of oil. Okay? Splash of oil across my hand from a pan. And it was pretty hot though. It was near maximum temperature. Olive oil. I say maximum temperature. What does that even mean? The maximum temperature my hob goes to. I was searing a piece of meat. I put a bit too much oil in there, and there was a bit of fat in there. Splashed onto my hand. Just do that. I don't want to go gratuitously close or whatever. But I can use my hand, watered and iced it immediately, and that's the only reason that I didn't have to go to the hospital. But it's if I go for a run, or if I put my hand below my waist, it hurts quite a bit. Other than that, it's kind of fine. I can sort of use my hand mostly. Healing very nicely. Not sort of worrying, but I'm just a bit tired because of all that. The worst burn I've had since I've stopped being a chef. So, and that's like 15 years or something now. Hope everyone was doing well and not like me. Just a series of scares and accidents. I'm going to be running a Call of Cthulhu, well, Shiver game, which is actually based on a Call of Cthulhu module, a tabletop RPG game for my mate's birthday tomorrow, called The Dare, where it's adapted from The Dare, where you've got a spooky house. You're being sort of kind of forced, dared into it by the school bully. It'll be spooky, and it's a bit like It, a bit like that sort of kids on bikes spookiness. So with a load of some people I don't really know, and some of my best mates from Leeds, sort of see what happens. I've never GM'd before. Sure, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. What can go wrong? I hope everyone's doing well. We found out loads of stuff recently about Star Citizen, but what I'm sort of excited about is CitizenCon, the potential release of the Paladin, what might be shown at CitizenCon, because I think they're going to show off the Nyx system. I do think we're going to get a new creature as well. There's been leaks about that, to be honest, as well, so I've seen those already. Leaks of a new creature. And we know that they're working on one because it's a redacted creature. With item recovery levels 1 and 2 coming eventually, will people that die and respawn in unregistered / saved loadouts be given the beloved medal gowns once again? We'll have to wait and see. But it's quite possible that they'll do that if you have not got if you're unregistered, right? If you don't have a saved loadout, if you don't have insurance. That sort of makes sense. A lot of the time, people are going to be spawning in the locations they've previously set with insurance. And I like that idea. I also like the idea that the gowns are automatically taken off you when you go near the door or before you exit. Something like that, so you don't have a big build-up of medical gowns. I appreciate all the kind words from people. Thank you so much. Genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for people asking questions and stuff like that. That does help the stream out. It gives me content. Also lets me understand what people want to talk about in general, not just for the stream, but asking questions. I go, oh, okay, that's worthy of a video. Gonna make lasagna. Oh, nice. I'm not. I can do like carbonara, proper carbonara without cream. Probably egg yolk and black pepper, pretty much, and parmesan, obviously. And I'm good with pesto. That's pretty much the extent of my Italian cooking. Thanks so much, Jay Bird. That's genuinely love your undying enthusiasm. So, well, that's an interesting thing, right? I'm bipolar. So I'm either very enthusiastic or you don't see me on stream and video. The joy of what I do is that I can stream when I want to, when I'm in the mood to, and I can make video when I'm in the mood to, right? Fantastic. Works super well for me. So October, I'm thinking of the ship giveaway. Thinking of rather having a sort of medium or large ship, going to give away 5 like starter ships and smaller ships instead with game packages and lifetime insurance because it's sort of CitizenCon. I'd rather people have more chance of winning. Also, there was a few ships that CIG had given me, which I had yet to given away, which I'd sort of forgotten about because they were outside of the normal giveaways and things. CIG sometimes give me ships for giveaway, typically with a new patch or whatever, but sometimes they give it to me one for like a free flyer or event. I had like a 100 iron and a nomad and a 8x Pisces. I was looking around my room then to see if I had it written on the wall or something, what ships they'd given me. I appreciate all the kind words. Thank you so much, genuinely. It's unfathomable this game is still in alpha. What do you mean? How is it unfathomable? You can see that it's in alpha. It's perfectly fathomable. Game's still in alpha. It's been playable alpha for ages. I don't see a problem with that. You might. It'd be like, they made $1 billion and they still haven't released anything. That's the sort of same statement. What? Disagree, but you're entitled to your opinion. And I think that there is an everyman response as well. So if you talk to the man on the Clapham Omnibus, which is a very British statement, you talked to just someone in the street that you might know about video games at all. You talk to them about Star Citizen. We're like, oh, that game that's never released, or that scam game. That might be something they say because they've only ever read headlines, and they've never played Star Citizen, don't have any friends that play it, or if they do, their friends play it for a bit and then play something else. Star Citizen has become it's a really interesting project, like really interesting. Gone from this labour of love to a massively expanded 2 games, one being an MMO, one being Squadron 42, and then getting a load of movie stars to appear in Squadron, and those games to be in development for over a decade. It's crazy, and the scoping up of that, so interesting as a project. And I've had a lot of fun and enjoy Star Citizen quite a bit, and I genuinely think, my bias is, genuinely think Star Citizen is going to be a great game when done. It's fun to play, even now, for a short period of time for me. When you're doing org stuff, you're doing stuff with mates or whatever, you can play that for as long as people want to play, right? You could play that for months and months and months or whatever. But for me, I want progression, permanent progression. And you have a level of progression now in Star Citizen from patch to patch, but there are resets occasionally, and there will be a reset like just before it goes live. For me, everything coming together rather than there being just a load of features that are held together temporarily at the moment. And everything actually comes together and supports each other, and you have a proper economy, and you have no more resets. When 1.0 comes out, I'm only playing Star Citizen tons rather than just as a content creator, right? At the moment, I play Star Citizen as a content creator. I don't play it much for myself. I play it occasionally for myself, but not much. So most of the stuff I will do in game or try to have fun with whatever it is because I want footage or because I want to experience it so that I can make a video on it. It's a interesting thing. Oh, so yeah, with that in mind, that's a great little segue to, if I've got it up on my screen somewhere, this. So, CIG talking about a select group gameplay test. So, basically, this is sort of like Evocati, but more handpicked with a new NDA, and you're not allowed to discuss it at all. So, they had softened Evocati. So, this is a great way of vetting people so they have less leaks within this group and have very focused testing for short burst periods based on people's stats. So people are like, oh, well, how are they going to pick these people? However they want. But they'll have a load of metrics and stats based on how much you play and then They're going to be sending you survey, and you give feedback via email rather than on the issue council. Issue council is like getting scraped for data and much easier to leak for that sort of stuff. So this is the sort of thing they might try and maybe test Squadron 42 on, or maybe test a secret new thing they want to have for CitizenCon or an event, but they don't necessarily want it to be leaked. So I just thought it was interesting. More tools for CIG to do more testing and more whatever they want. Great. As long as they're used appropriately, right? What else do we have? Hello, hello. We aren't in alpha anymore, we're in early access. Well, that's an interesting statement right there, right? Sort of sometimes interchangeable, sometimes not. I do think that Star Citizen's year of playability, they're very much trying to move into what would be deemed early access on Steam rather than alpha. Something that is more packageable and sellable and palatable to a more mainstream audience by the end of the year. And they are definitely getting there, right? And that you could argue that there's sometimes like major flaws in a patch, sort of major bug that they're trying to fix. But look at where we are compared to last year. There's a ton to genuinely do in game, right? Do you think we will get a preview of Nyx at CitizenCon? Almost certainly. I think they're going to be releasing Nyx by the end of the year as well, actually, in-game. Do you think we'll get a Nyx preview? Yeah, that's what I think is going to be happening. So, at the moment, CIG are also on the tech preview. They're testing out the AI updates, NPC updates, and graphics updates from Vulkan and a few other little bits from like Squadron 42 that they've brought over. So that's on the tech preview. That will be phased into the live build soon. And then when they've done that, they're going to be testing engineering on the tech preview build, they've said. So that will be before the end of the year. Probably. I mean, you never know the future. I can imagine a Vandal ground vehicle close to a mechanical spider. So I think if you had a Vandal vehicle, it'd be more like a combine harvester or like a minesweeper. They're going to want to try and capture people, from what I understand. They're all about salvaging, looting, and I assume they eat the people. I don't actually know. This goes with Randy's next question. Do you think the Squadron 42 work on Odin will get the system to Star Citizen faster? Yes. I think after the 5 systems they've got planned, I think Odin will be the next one. If not during that process. Obviously, Odin being done for Squadron is going to make it very available, almost done for the persistent universe, right? What all the ships do you think we'll see before? What ships do you think we'll see before the end of 2025? So Paladin at CitizenCon is what it looks like based on the digital goodies pack and just generally the sort of roadmap, monthly report more than roadmap. Also the Perseus at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And then there are a variety of unannounced ships and vehicles that will be released between those periods as well. Don't think there's any that I'm expecting from concept to come flyable beyond that, other than some new straight-to-flyables. We did say there was something related to either medical or the Apollo that was being made. I've done P, and I've got a deluge of players that came to shoot up the place without doing any real damage, to be a nuisance. but defending ourselves gave us crime stat 2s. Do you think NPC cops help? So, the whole system of who is a criminal, how that's prosecuted, and how it is detected needs to be hugely updated. The whole law system. Odin will be post 1.0, quite possibly, right? Almost certainly, but it will probably be the next system after 1.0. Would be my expectation. Star Citizen has definitely improved over the last year. Not that anyone on the spectrum would ever admit. Well, so what I find is that it's very fruit fly sort of ecosystem on Spectrum. There'll be a focused problem that someone is posting about, and they only care about that, and it's the worst thing ever because it's not been solved, or it's been a problem for ages. So they very much look at a very specific thing. You think we'll be able to play those one-off story-rich missions in our Theatres of War pods? Oh, maybe. So in Arena Commander, potentially. But I think they're... So you'll have Arena Commander Theatre War type stuff, almost certainly, right, in the future. I mean, they've released a load of the Theatres of War stuff in-game to an extent, like Hathor that's being shown now, those Hathor stations and the Align of Mind stuff. A lot of that was actually from Theatres of War. They've also released the Theatres of War level in Arena Commander, not the actual gameplay that the Battlefield sort of push and pull objective mode that it was supposed to be. You haven't played much since the Sandworm. Well, monthly, every month they have been releasing more and more stuff to do, and it's pretty cool because by the time you've done some of the stuff, there's more stuff to then do, be that on the PTU or just the live build. Bam. Do you think the Paladin will get a CitizenCon release? Yes. I'm almost sure of it. Yeah. 90-10. How long until we can buy apartments or be able to upgrade hangars? They mentioned last year that we'd be able to have more building interiors. So, they actually mentioned recently about customizable hangars as well, being able to buy extra modules for your hangar, getting medical facilities there, placing sort of more freight elevators, things like that. They're working on a load of this stuff. You'll also notice some of the building interior stuff that I had mentioned previously has been used for the Site B of the Onyx facilities. So like the giant cargo elevators, cargo trams, those underground facilities. That is a lot of Site B, and the rest of the Onyx facilities. But I think they will have a lot of story-rich stuff in the verse in general, and then a lot of more modular, repeatable stuff in between. Because for me, yes, I want some cool story missions, and I want that cool experience. But it's the repeatable end game that's with no more story that's going to make or break the game. Yeah, having a cool economy, having stuff that's you want to be engaged with, stuff that you want to continue to do ad infinitum. You can't do that with story typically. Well, I think it's unlikely you can do that with story. Although, you can, I suppose, if you have monthly story updates. What kind of things would you like to see in Star Citizen just as a player? So for me, it's the economy and everything coming together. So having cool industrial gameplay that does lead to crafting, and that crafting does affect the economy, and that's what drives combat and people's sort of pushing into areas or whatever. So all of it coming together, but base building, crafting, industrial gameplay. What bug fixes do you hope to see before the end of the year? Mine are a fueling bug. Oh, yeah, okay, that's fair. And the MFD bug. MFD's not assisting or storing after retrieve. Yeah. Both important things. I want loads of quality of life updates rather than bug fixes, really. Most of the things I can think of are quality of life sort of updates. Like I want NPCs to more precisely work and not bug out. If you had 5 minutes alone with Chris, what would be your top 3 questions asking? I have been twice alone with Chris. More recently, a couple of months ago, at a bar citizen. He literally, a bar citizen in Manchester. Unfortunately, I was a little bit inebriated and panicky. But he literally appeared next to me. Like, so, he was just next to me and we were just chatting. It was cool because I asked him about is Squadron 42 his magnum opus game, and he was like, yeah, I'm really excited for it. The technology that's now available has allowed me to create the game of my dreams, and hopefully a load of our dreams as well. He is super passionate, Chris. He is proper visionary, and you need people like Aaron and a load of his lieutenants to make that dream, that blue skies thinking, a reality. A lot of people will be like, Chris shouldn't be talking so much because he overpromises. He overpromises because that's what he wants, and he's trying to get it, which is why you have a super long development cycle as well. Also, why they've been able to generate so much money, because a lot of people buy into that and go, well, actually, yeah, I do want that. And some people will be like, no, Chris is the worst of the product. I absolutely love Chris. I think he's great. However, it's not just him that makes the game. You need a visionary for this sort of game. However, you also need people to bring it into reality. And sometimes those two forces are a little bit at odds, but I can't remember if I diverged everything. I'll find my notebook because I chatted to him for a while, and then I went home because I was like, there's a lot of important people here, and I'm a bit fuzzy headed. You think there might be a hidden Thor's hammer somewhere in the Odin system? Oh, right. There'll be references to all sorts of silly things like that, right? I think if I could ask Chris or CIG anything that I know they'd answer, it'd be what are the plans for monetization once the game's launched? I've already asked him things like, did you expect the game to take so long to develop and to expand out to the scope it has? Well, kind of no, but like he's glad that it did. I don't know. Beyond that, definitely some stuff. How much more do you think we will get to see and or hear about crafting bases and space stations? So I expect a good update at CitizenCon for all of that. Loads of updates on the stuff that they previously showed at CitizenCon last year would be my expectation. And then some new ships and vehicles that will be released, like the Paladin. Because they said no more concepts for ships and vehicles. They're going to do one more concept they've got planned next year, probably the battlecruiser. But the rest of the stuff is going to be straight to flyable. All variants. Do you think org and social features will be in by the end of the year? I hope so. This is one of the first things I wanted in the game since we had 3.0, and they haven't really improved that too much. I know they're working on it, but hopefully that's one of the surprises before the end of the year. Do you think we'll see the Raylan this year? No, I think we'll see it at Alien Week next year. So, June? MMOs are never truly done. That's true, and very true of Star Citizen. There's a huge amount of plans beyond 1.0, because obviously it's only a fraction of the systems in-game, although the Star System's pretty big. There's a load of features and stuff they want to get in beyond that. Hello, Mr. Gamer. I hope you're doing well. Do you play Dungeons & Dragons? Yes, I do. I'm going to be running a Call of Cthulhu. I haven't played Dungeons & Dragons for just over a year since I moved up north. But I love roleplay stuff. I used to do a little LARP as well. I'm running a Call of Cthulhu / Shiver session this weekend, in fact, for my mate's birthday as a one-off. Yes, I do, DePertz. I hope you're doing well. DePertz is a great content creator. He does a lot of technology stuff, and he's very socially apt. You'll see him post a lot on Twitter and stuff that you can get involved with, lots of giveaways and things as well. But he'll turn up at a lot of events, and great at hosting them as well. It's nice to have you in the community, mate. Do you think there's a good chance the new missions could lead up to the next system? Yes, I do. That is a very smart thing to say. So I've got a video that I'm writing at the moment. I've heard some stuff, and I'm not sure what is rumour or fever dream. But yes, I think that's exactly what will happen. Speaking about monetization, do you still think they will sell full ships when the game is in 1.0? I do, yes. I think CIG will still sell ships and packages, and straight to flyable ships will still be made. No more concepts, but straight to flyable ships. But I mean, they definitely sell a level of game package with a ship, right? But I think they will also sell ships. And they'll probably say in-game currency as well. They will want to monetize if they are not selling a subscription to everyone. They want to monetize in as many ways as possible. Now, some of those ways will be reined in by the community. We'll say no, or that's ridiculous. Do you think there will be PvE content that will call for a fully crewed Perseus and still be profitable? Yeah? Yeah, 100%. Fully crewed Perseus is an interesting one, because they sort of reduced crew sizes on ships because of NPC crew, because of AI blades, and because of slaving stuff to the pilot to an extent. So we're not sure. Originally, the Perseus was supposed to be 6 crew in concept. That might have come down. I think you'll be able to run it between 3 and 6 crew, because it's going to be, you need engineers potentially to go and fix stuff, or you might just need, well, is the pilot going to be able to slave those massive size 8 weapons now to size 8 turrets, I believe. They used to be size 7. I believe they've been scaled up to size 8. Well, they are bespoke, so it's kind of irrelevant. And then if they can't, well, then can you put an AI blade in there, like a control blade? Maybe. You reckon the Ranger is in the same position as the G12? I think they'll be pushing to get those out early next year. Or give me a way to block obnoxious people in global chat. They are working out. They talked about it relatively recently. There will be, I think it was Benoit talking about it actually. There's going to be loads of things that you can do, like muting people. Can you ask your contacts if they're ever going to work on dynamic ship cargo doors again? The ones that will dynamically go that touches the ground. So oh, okay, I understand what you mean. So rather than push your ship up or not go to the ground, you'd go to the ground, and when they touch the ground, bam. Yes, I can ask that. That's a good question, actually. They might be like, oh no, we've got another solution for that, or no, oh yeah, we have been working on that. Oh. I mean, 3 would be the minimum to have both big turrets and a pilot. So, but it depends if those big pilots do require, according to the original post about the Perseus, yes, those turrets each require a manned, someone to actually be in there. There's access points to them. But you might be able to run them through the pilot. There's also potential PDCs on the ship now, so I think they said 4 PDCs for it. Goodbye, Perseus, during the IE, don't tell my wife. So the thing is that I've got a load of ships now, and I don't think I want much more. Perseus is one of my favourite of those. So, I mean, I've got an Apollo for Zin, so I can live vicariously through Zin and with some of these ships. I probably am going to get Perseus, thinking about it. I'll upgrade or downgrade a Polaris or something. I'm not too enthralled by the Polaris because I have a Javelin. What do you think is more important to get? Or spawning your ground vehicles on a freight elevator, or being able to spawning your ground vehicles on a freight elevator, or being able to spawn a ship like Azanga? Oh, both are important. The first, though, I think more important to be able to spawn your vehicle in a freight elevator, because then you can bring it onto the other ship. So I only want to be able to spawn a ship in a hangar, in another ship's hangar, if that ship is at dock. Yeah? Do you think they have an energy weapon equivalent kit for the Perseus? As the bespoke right now means you're stuck with that weapon. So, CIG did say that in the future, and potentially even at the IAE, there'd be more choices for bespoke weapons. Bespoke does not now mean you're stuck with that weapon. It means less choices. So they might make more bespoke weapons for things like the Perseus. Exactly that. I talk about it in today's video about that as well. I remember them talking about dynamic doors 2 years ago. I also remember them talking about FPS AI turrets a couple of years ago and explosive decompression. Actually, it's a lot longer than 2 years ago. It's about probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. Oh my god. I was in my 20s when I started covering Star Citizen. I'm now over 40. But I love the Star Citizen project. Absolutely love it. Warts and all. Genuinely. Drama and all. Warts and all. Spam. Do you think there's a good chance that the new mission will lead to the next system? Yes. Similar to what we had to lead to the pirate system. I think it's exactly what's going to be going on, and I think they're going to show some of this off at CitizenCon. Nix is there, and I think by the end of the year we'll be drawn into the next system. That is my expectation. You might go, nah, that's crazy. Brown. They've been working on the next system for ages. I mean, we used to have Delamar in the standard system at the asteroid. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you use a ship loadout on your Mobigas, you can equip a ship inside. Yeah. I think they're both important. They're both doable. There's not a hierarchy of needs, in my opinion, for those. They're both needed. I was 39 when I bought my first Kickstarter package, and now I'm old AF. Wow, yeah. Well, Jaybird will grow old together, waiting for Star Citizen. A game that our children can enjoy. Do you know where I can buy an Idris? So, Idris not available in in-game shops yet. Hopefully going to be available in in-game shops in October, because CIT had sort of said that the Fleet Week ships should be available soon. So, hopefully, it'll be very expensive. If you want to buy one with real money, you'll be able to try and get one during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November. I think it's going to start on the 21st of November, Friday the 21st of November. Is when the IA will start, and when there's the Idris Day, the Aegis Day, the Javelins and Idris, they'll release them in waves. You'll find out some more information about that before. I love Star Citizen, and I can't wait for Squadron 42 to be done, so that progress on the verse can actually ramp up. So yes, totally agree. I mean, they're load of updates are going to be bleeding through from Squadron 42, especially as it's getting polished and finalized into Star Citizen, like a load of graphics updates, Vulkan updates, AI and NPC updates, stuff like that they are testing on the tech preview. But you'll see more and more and more. I'm hoping that we see the Vandal ships updated soon, which was interesting. Maybe there's no Squadron 42 at present at CitizenCon, like CIG said, but maybe there is a Vandal update. Because obviously, as I had said previously, just before 4.3.2 released, almost certainly going to have some form of Vandal influence. I thought it was going to be Vandal bosses and stuff to fight, but it was a little bit Vandal-y. And I do think that we're going to see Vandal ship updates. What do you think? What do you think the new ship dealer is? Grey Market Shiv? Is it a chop shop? So yeah, they could do they could have a piratey one, they could have an outlawry one, or they could have an alien ship one. So I know there's been some leaks about Vandal ships. It would make sense if they start selling those Vandal ships in interesting ways, right? So 1.0, I think the rough expectation, the hope is end of 2028 for a release of that. So they've got the mining ticks and stuff like that, which are kind of spider walkers-ish a little bit. But bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, I've got a painting table set up. My green screen in the way. Oh. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to wedge my my green screen out of where it is now. I'll be right back. Oh. I'm such a slob the moment I just shave. That's fine. That's fine. On camera, it's fine. What I do, I'm just going to look like a slightly more kept potato. So sick of ugly skins. One other thing to say when I was talking about the way I look. Oh, I can't wait for base building. What about apartments for us? Who dreams of a penthouse on a terrace? So I do believe that that's going to be a thing still. You're going to be able to rent and buy apartments, places. I suppose it will be rent more than anything else. They'll effectively be instant. They are working on instant gameplay for that sort of stuff. They're actually spider walkers in game. So they're not yet. So they were in... So you might have seen them during the Squadron 42 vertical slice in 2018. They're part of Squadron 42. They'll be in the game at some point. They are little mining ticks, is what they're called. $10.50 this year. Star Citizen's my retirement plan. So okay, my retirement plan. I don't know how my finances are going to look. I want to. In 10 years, I'm going to plan out my retirement, but it's going to be board games and computer games. A lot of Star Citizen, a lot of random board games, probably a bit more sort of tabletop RPG stuff as well, like D&D or Call of Cthulhu, stuff like that as well. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to play games and chill. Don't want to go traveling too much. And one of the other things I hope to get a bit more of a control of is I want to be able to go to a bar citizen, not worried that I'm going to get drunk. That's the other thing. So I want to be able to be a bit more in control of my drinking, but to take it more sensibly. At the moment, the last one I went to, I got a bit inebriated and I had a bit of a panic attack at the same time, which is awful. I don't want that to happen. Especially when I'm in a situation where I'm around potentially a load of POG devs. Not necessarily in my professional capacity, but I mean, it's going to be at least semi-professional, right? Not going to be great if I'm absolutely trashed and being a nuisance. Do you think the Perseus will actually compete against the Idris? No. Not by itself. So it'll be a threat to an Idris, right? It'll be probably a bit more agile. It's a brawler. It wants to get up in its face. Doesn't want to get hit by its railgun. But it's going to be hugely damaging, right? So these are supposed to be used with like hammerheads and capital ships and stuff as a mixture of screening and combat patrol ships and stuff like that. It might not want to go just against the capital ship by itself, but okay, well, what about cost for cost? Well, maybe it's going to be two or three Perseus against one Idris. Well, how does that pan out? Perseus will annoy the Idris like a bee will annoy you. No, I think it'll be more annoying than a bee. Maybe like a big rat. Do you think we'll see smaller lasers like the Idris has? So beam weapons. Is that what we're talking about, like the Idris K kit? Yes. They did say this. They did say that this was the year of beam weapons. Sort of more of tongue-in-cheek, I think, but with the rebalancing of torpedoes up to size 7, does that mean we're looking at a new missile boat for one of the unrivered ships? Very likely. Or modules to that effect. / variant, right? My luck is always running into an Idris while bounty hunting and needing a way to deal with it. Yeah, that's fair. I think a player will be able to take out an NPC Idris pretty well with a Perseus. Right, I think that will be, you'll be able to get into a good position and sustain fire into an area. You don't want to get hit by its railgun, as I said, but you can probably outmaneuver it. I think typically with an Idris is that it will have like a wing of fighters with it and stuff like that as well. And the Perseus is unlikely to be great against load of fighters or fighter bombers. Like, probably does not want to fight bombers or fighter bombers. But there are supposed to be, I believe now, a level of PDCs with the Perseus. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. One of the things that annoyed me with Elite Dangerous, never understood why the weapons didn't have equivalents at all sizes. So you should see a huge range of weapons in the future for all sizes, hopefully, and lots and lots of options. I want it to be like loading your ship out in Eve eventually. That would be my dream. There may be buffs from eating torpedo burritos. It'd be great if it's jump height buff. Perfect. Makes sense as well. I salute everyone's retirement plan that is playing computer games, or board games, or chilling. I don't spend much money. I just want to maintain a nice-ish PC. Doesn't need to be top of the range, just needs to be relatively high-end, so that I can play the games I want at the relatively good frame rates. Doesn't even need to be 4K. It can be 1440p. That's my preferred gaming at the moment, just because the refresh rates of monitors. Although I'll probably start I need to go 4K really, don't I? I can make 4K assets and videos better. Wanted to do this for a while. Well, now that'll be probably the next major thing I do. Getting the new Dying Light game is Fire. So is that the Beast? Do you think it's worth suggesting it for co-op play, Jaybird? Once you go 4K, you won't go back. Well, it's more for creating content as well. Okay. Okay. I've got a 9070 XT as my graphics card at the moment. Will I need better for 4K? Probably, right? Human monster. Yes, the Beast. Yeah, I play it co-op only. Okay, cool. I might buy it for the Zin and her partner and play it with them then. Okay. I tested a 9070 XT in 4K with Star Citizen. It plays very well. Okay. Cool. Was that for recording as well, DePoets? This is why I like you. You jumped in. It's like, shall I buy some parts for a new PC? Because I'll need a. Do you have a 4K monitor? Although it's coming to end of life, and I use it as my secondary monitor. I want high frame rate. Or do I wait for the next gen of graphics cards? Because obviously some of the 40 series and 50 series GeForces, they had a load of problems, right? Yeah, so I need to take into account recording as well. That said, recording is less and less drain on a lot of these cards now. I do appreciate all the kind words. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to CitizenCon. I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to try and go to a CitizenCon watch party at the National Space Center. Need to actually arrange that a bit better. Get a 6090 Ti. Need to start saving now. Yeah, it's another mortgage on your house, isn't it? So I might start to look at trying to get sponsorships from either a card manufacturer or a distributor. 2070 XT records Star Citizen in 4K just fine. Cool. Thank you, Bert. I might be okay then. I might just need a 4K monitor. And we might be good, especially with CIG now focusing a bit more on Vulkan and getting that integrated and more traditional graphics options. It might be like, actually, the game is just going to become more and more performant for the sort of mid to high range PC. I think that's the other interesting thing, right? Like, there's less of frame generation sort of optimization for Star Citizen. And I think that at least at the moment that's for the better. And you see a lot of games now, especially like the most recent Silent Hill and the one previous, so Silent Hill F, no, whatever. Actually, I don't know about F, but the previous Silent Hill frame generation, that was its optimization. It just goes, just frame generate. So unoptimized. Like, automatic optimization is lazy. Yeah, so I bought my 9070 XT for Monster Hunter, basically. And it was absolutely fantastic for Monster Hunter Wilds. I just can't wait till I can use more options for my graphics settings. Yes. Soon. Genuinely soon. 50 series is the first RTX to beat an 80 in raw compute power without frame gen. Really? Interesting. I mean, I used to love the 1080s. I mean, my favorite graphics card of all time is the GeForce 8800s. That's 18 years or so ago. Oh, I'm old. Sin and I haven't run the Site B stuff yet together, so we're going to be doing that next week, most likely. Versus comes out with kits. What kind of kits do you believe it will see? So, I mean, it will just be different weapons, right? Different PDCs, different big weapons on its turrets. So, yeah, a more stamina laser slash beam build makes sense. The 1080 is still a solid choice for non-4K gaming. Yeah, it was 1080p gaming, right? Doesn't AMD work better with AMD GPUs? It sort of depends on your actual setup, right? Potentially more often, but I've been AMD processor for many years now, and I'm not sold on GeForce or AMD for graphics cards. Like I'm not loyal to either. I will bounce around what's best for my sort of use case. But one of the other things as well, when I come to buy graphics cards or PC upgrades, typically I'll want to also get parity with Zyn. So I'll have to go, well, I'm getting a new graphics card. I need to buy Zyn a new graphics card so that the recording maintains a sort of level of, can't think of the word. Standardization. That's the word, whatever that is. Consistency. That's the word I was looking for. I mean, I really like the idea of just the big, brawling ballistic weapons and big shells that the Perseus could use. But if they went, well, actually, there's going to be a beam version, I might prefer that. Brand loyalty goes against self-loyalty. It's most important to be loyal to your use case, not brand. Yes. I say, so brand loyalty for me is more of a tiebreaker slash, do I trust? It would be brand loyalty if I'm buying a new thing, especially if it's first mover. Like, I'm buying a new technology from a company I trust, rather than one I don't trust. AMD processors are designed from the ground up for gaming. Intel processors are general purpose processors. That's not always the case. But I don't know enough about processors, really. Not anymore. That's what our Astra. Good mining ships, eh? Yeah, super excited for Alpha 4.3.2 and CitizenCon. And then the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo thereafter. I'm going to try not to buy any more spaceships that I don't need. But probably I'm going to change one of my ships to a Perseus because it's one of my favourite ships. Mercury Star Runner, Perseus. Oh. Yes, please. I haven't been flying my Mercury Star Runner for a while. Because there's been loads of other stuff. And I quite like the Apollo as well. Although I don't have an Apollo myself. Din does. Well, thank you very much to Plastic Death as well for... Plastic Death dropped us a donation because it was like, basically, buy yourself an Apollo. It's like, oh, amazing. Zin and I did want one for content. Right. I think I'm going to dash off. But thank you very much for people joining me today. Genuinely appreciated. Hope you have a great weekend. And if you'd like to further support the channel, then share, like, subscribe, and use the join button under my videos. There's links to things under my videos as well for like sponsors or whatever, or affiliate links, like NordVPN or whatever. Pastor Beth is a legend. I agree. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah. See you later.